Hello, it's Tuesday, September 13th, 2016, and as of this recording, I'm still depressed, but I'm not dead. Okay, here I am. I'm back with another installment of the Depressed Not Dead podcast. It's been a while since I've strapped on the headphones and spent some time talking into the mic. So, I guess I should get caught back up on the goings-ons, the day-to-day kind of things since the last recording. I've been talking for, 6 weeks now about the general state of improvement, of elevated mood, of kind of clearing of my head a little bit. And I still stand by that the past 6 weeks, 7 weeks or whatnot have been improved over, when compared to the past, what are we at now, year and a half, 8 months, something like that, since my suicide attempt. But I'm kind of at a point these past few weeks where I don't know that I'm still improving overall. I'm not sure if I'm kind of staying the same. I don't know if I'm kind of slipping backwards. I've still got kind of day-to-day notions of wanting to accomplish, of wanting to, do something, do things. But I don't find myself with the energy, the drive, the focus, the continual desire on any specific thing to move forward on any of those. I've been looking at, making up a flyer to put up for the show here. I've looked at, maybe taking an online class here or there, wanting to help out my kids with various things that they're trying to accomplish, it's encouraging that I get the thought that, hey, I should look into this, or hey, what if I just do this? But sometimes it seems like not quite minute to minute, but within an hour, kind of these swings of feeling like, okay, hey, I can get something done, to holy crap, what am I gonna? How do I get anything done? That complete lack of energy and focus, and almost a confusion on what the next step to take is. I guess we could say, in my thoughts, I'm at an improved level, or maybe still improving, but in actuality, I would say my life is kind of more, I'm stagnant at best for the past 6 weeks, 7 weeks. I may be even a little more withdrawn than I have been. Like I said, I'm still terribly unfocused. I still have so much time where I just feel down, and everything is worthless. Is strong a word, makes it sound like I'm in crisis or approaching some kind of suicidal mode. But things just don't seem to have value, or value enough to get me going, to kind of push me over, the depressed mind, to kind of override that and get me moving. The only thing that I really seem to be consistent with is kind of this weight loss exercise thing. Past 3 weeks, I'm down 10 pounds, which is progress. Woohoo. I am, per the CDC, I am no longer obese. I am merely overweight. And that's calculated on my BMI, which I know is flawed and whatnot, but it's fun to say. I've got some stumbling blocks towards that now. Having problems with my knees, so that's kind of got me down, because I can't move and exercise the way I want, which kind of makes me feel bad about, or it makes me feel like it's that much harder to continue to lose weight if I can't move around. If I'm supposed to be resting and elevating my knee and icing it, that's hard to burn calories. And when I tend to be a bored or sad snacker, and so if I'm just kind of hanging out, it's very difficult for me not to want to eat. But, I guess I haven't given up on that. So, that's where I get into the, my thinking is improved. My thinking is on the uptick, but my actions, my kind of feelings, my emotions are kind of pulling me down. Yeah, I think I've confused that enough. So, that's me. That's what I've been doing. Yeah, Nora is out of town again, doing some work, bringing home the bacon so I can cook some up for someone else, not on my diet. So yeah, so that's just kind of a state of the mind of me right now. I guess let's just get into the show. So a couple weeks ago, I was walking back from therapy. So 2 weeks ago from tomorrow. And I was thinking about what we had talked about that day, Eric and I, in therapy. He's really pushing on this kind of safety plan and mission statement that I've talked about in the past, and I made the comment to him that, hey, maybe next week we don't talk about this and give me time to think about it more. And he kind of pushed back a little bit and said, well, no, I think it's important to talk about this, and we need to work on getting these in place because, if we can't keep you safe, then what are we doing? And, I get that. I understand that, but it's this kind of focusing on me in these two ways is very difficult for me. So kind of back to the kind of think versus do versus reality. I in my head, I know what he's saying. In my head, I know that these things are important. But when I kind of try to get them into action to work on that, safety plan, mission statement, I just sit there and stare at the piece of paper. And it's very, very difficult for me to think about myself and to think about, the things that would go on there, the kind of who I want to be, what keeps me from spiraling down into oblivion. I don't know. So I kind of wonder, I think it'd be nice if I had, somebody or a group of somebodies where we could, just sit around and be talking about these things and kind of get almost like a subconscious read on what these things are. Because I know when I do try to think about it, I fall right into that, you're stupid, that can't be right, or, without trusting myself, without knowing whether or not my thought is the right thought, whether this thing is a good thing, if this is the way I want my life to go. I don't know. I guess I could look into, I don't know if there's someone in the DBSA group that I go to who I can do this with. It doesn't seem like that person is there, but maybe there is. Maybe through kind of some of these social meetings, I can get to know someone and we can work that out, because it seems like locked away in my room, I struggle really hard to kind of analyze myself and figure that out. So we were talking about this and he said, well, no, we really should probably talk about this more. And we talked about the importance of it. And then we talked a little bit about what I had created and kind of given to him to kind of take a look at and see what he thinks. And he mentioned, he said, I don't see a lot of you in there. I see a lot of, you wanting to do for your kids. I don't see much of what you do for you. And I just kind of took it as face value of what that was. Okay, yeah, that's true. That's kind of, that's me, right? I'm more of a doer for others, I guess. So anyway, we finished up the meeting, agreeing that, I'll work on those things, bring them to the next appointment. And I started, walking home. It's a good 3.5 miles from there to home. Kind of see reference my weight loss goal and exercise fitness goal for why I would walk that. And I was just kind of thinking as I was walking, and it hit me really hard that exactly how, I guess it hit me hard when it was like a stark realization that, yeah, you know what, everything, or virtually everything I do is kind of outwardly motivated, right? I do it for someone else, not for me. You know, and I'm not clearly I'm not a saint. I'm not, superhero for other people. I fail. I have flaws. I fail often, I feel. But, I do kind of to help other people or for the benefits or my perceived benefit of other people. And so I started kind of making a mental list while I was walking. Okay, well, who am I, for this mission statement? Who am I? What does me like to do? What does me do for me, for my enjoyment, for my benefit? And so I started thinking about the past, just under 2 years. One of the biggest things that's happened in the past 18 months, 19, 20 months or something is that I came to Minnesota and I stayed here. And why did I do that? I was sold on doing that because I needed to work on me in order to be around for my girls. That's the only kind of reason why I initially came here. I mean, yeah, to be with Nora, but after my attempt, I really wasn't in any kind of place where I could appreciate that and understand how enjoyable that is. I came here because, my ex-wife thought that it would be good for me to kind of be out here and working on my stuff because my girls are going to need me. Nora kind of gave me the same kind of story. Like, the choice is to go back to Michigan and kind of be with the kids and not be able to work on myself that much, and so that's dad A, or dad B is kind of move away initially for a little while, work on me so I can be healthier and maybe a better dad B. And so I chose dad B, and that was my thinking. It was dad B. It wasn't me A or me B. It was make the choice for my kids. Something else that I try to do regularly is I donate, or really it's selling plasma. And see if you've gone or whatever, it's kind of a money grab thing, I suppose. As much as it is like $60 a week. But it's a donation, and it's plasma that gets used towards making medicine for lots of different reasons and ways. So I do that, and really I do that to kind of squirrel away that money so that when my girls come out or I go to see my girls, that I have a little extra kind of fun money. And yeah, so that's why I do that. It's it's not the best of times going to do it, but it's something that I see I can do to make things a little more enjoyable for my kids. I started out this show with the intention of kind of just being my online journal to kind of get things out, hear myself say things, maybe try to work through some ideas vocally while I'm recording, and then, put it out to the internet as a way for it to be, it's permanent, right? It's not, I had mentioned about, writing things down, and write down a journal today, tomorrow, the next day. And then, 4 days I look back and, oh, that's stupid. How did I wrote that, what the heck? And I, throw it away. I guess I could just throw all these shows away, but, it's the internet. The internet doesn't forget. So there's a certain amount of it that's out there, and it's kind of accountable, and it needs to be kind of honest and forthright, because, people can call me out on it if, oh, you're just saying this, or oh, this, oh, that. So that's why I started it, but it's changed. I started thinking about this show when I go into doing an episode on what are my listeners going to get out of this. And this, and not very well, but this show has become a podcast for you guys, the listeners. And I every week or so, I try to educate, and I try to, I say things more for the listeners who, the feedback I get is, I really like this, I really like that. So, it's kind of fallen away from being, for me. It's still about me, but it's not so much for me. And I need to work on that and figure that out. And not that I would stop doing the show or anything like that, but I guess, yeah, I don't know. It was really surprising to me when I really thought about that. Yeah. So that's the show. I'm okay. So back to this exercise and losing weight thing, I'm doing that. Primarily I'm doing this for my youngest, who she kind of is struggling with kind of her weight a little bit. She's not morbidly obese or anything like that, but she tends to eat a little more than she needs to. I think she has a little bit of that kind of, food is love thing going on. But really the deciding moment for me to do this was, I'm going to involve her, and I'm going to kind of set an example to her about losing weight, because we're both similar body image, body style, I guess, with our, with what we've got going on, and we both could stand to lose some weight. So, that's my drive for doing it, is to lose weight and get fit and show her, or kind of involve her with, hey, this is great. Look at me. Look what I've gotten done, and kind of be a positive role model to her. I've talked about before that I kind of, I'm the house husband here. I keep the house for Nora. I make the bed for Nora. I clean the bathrooms for Nora. I cook for Nora. I do the laundry, because she deserves to have that stuff done for her. She doesn't need to be worried about that. She provides for this family, and she works hard, and, she's got her own, struggles, but she, I do it for her. I don't really care that the bed is made. She kind of thinks that I care, because I've kind of made the bed. I think primarily, the first morning when I got up after coming to Minnesota, I made the bed, and I remember specifically thinking, oh, well, I should make the bed for Nora. It should look nice for Nora. And so I do that. Hell, I even, I take care of myself for Nora, because I like to think that it gives her a little bit of peace of mind to see that I'm caring about myself, my appearance, that I'm brushing my teeth better, because those things are important to her. And, that's how I think I'm providing some amount of comfort for her. I've gotten back into reading just a little bit. Primarily, I'm reading to keep up with my girls. I think I mentioned before that we'll kind of read a book at the same time. And then, every week or so, we'll kind of, hey, by next Friday, we'll be through chapter 10. And then we'll get on the phone and we'll talk about it. And I do that, as a way to kind of keep them reading. And, I want to challenge them to think about what they're reading. Those are the kind of things, that's what I do. It's kind of my life right there. So I'm walking along, and I'm trying to think, okay, what do I do for me? And, I guess what I do for me is bagels. I don't think it's a secret, or maybe I've talked about it. I don't know, but I like to eat bagels, and I walk up to get bagels, more than I should probably. I enjoy bagels, and I think it's kind of feeding into my own problems, I guess, but I enjoy, going to the bagel shop and eating my bagels there and spending an hour and a half with my Chromebook. It's just me and bagels. So yeah, I guess I I do bagels for me. That's the sum of my independent existence right now is bagels. So then, what's the point of having these thoughts if I don't do something with them, right? And so now that's where I am. What do I do with this information? How do I kind of change what's going on? How do I make use of this to improve me? I think back to the last show I did where, I don't know where to go. I don't, that kind of lack of feeling, lack of emotion. I don't feel good about my accomplishments. So if I'm not doing for someone else, I don't know how else to find value in what I do. And I'm not saying that I shouldn't do anything for other people, and being generous and helpful and kind of presenting a good role model for others is a good thing. And everybody should strive to do that. But it's a good thing as part of a life, as part of a personality, as part of a person. Where I kind of struggle and why this gets to be a problem with me is that's all I have, I think. And so there's no me in there, really. There's no doing for me. There's no escape valve for me. There's no really me accomplishment, me time, me as a person, right? And I don't know how to get away from that. I don't know how to get out of that. And I find myself, if I'm not doing something where I can see how it benefits someone else, I pretty well either feel bad about doing it or I stop doing it because, well, this is just stupid. It's not, what's the purpose? What's the benefit of doing this if it's not helping that person or that person? I don't know. Yeah, so I don't know where I'm going with this, both on the show and in life. I guess, I it's not that I don't want to find things for me. I think it's that I don't know how to find things for me, or if I find something, if I'm going to know how to enjoy it or appreciate it or run with it and grow with it and kind of do it. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's I think that's probably it. It's going to be a shorter show today. I'm looking at putting into the feed here another little shorter show. It's going to be a pay it forward segment, which I guess sounds funny after what I've just talked about, but I'm going to try to do like a 5-minute second show every week and a half, where I just kind of talk about something I've done in the past, whatever the time frame is, that is an example of kind of paying it forward for doing something nice for someone. And I thought it would be good to put that out there as well, because I don't brag about those things. Lots of times I do something nice for a kid or for a person, and I don't even tell Nora about it because it feels bad. I guess it feels bad to talk about that, to say, hey, guess what I did? So I'm hoping that it puts a little positivity out there. It kind of, anybody who's listening to the show thinks, oh, hey, there's something nice that was done. Maybe I can inspire someone else to do something nice for somebody. Maybe it's just, that accountability thing of saying, hey, I did this. It's out there. Maybe kind of force myself to see something I do good as good and worthy of talking about. Yeah, so look for that. That's about it. I kind of have lost my focus here again. So, yeah, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Remember, you can get a hold of me by email at jamoalki@gmail.com, on Twitter at jamoalki, facebook.com/jamoalki, and the website jamoalki.info. That's JAMOALKI. Hit me up, send me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know how you're doing. Maybe share a story with me. It's nice to hear from other folks. And wherever you get the podcast from, if it's from a established location like iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, whatever, give me a high rating so I show up more on searches, and help me kind of spread the show and get more folks holding me accountable for me. I hope you're all doing well. Everyone be safe, be well, and I'll talk to you soon.